Analyzing South Korea's political storm, President Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment. South Korea has recently been thrust into the spotlight, not for its technological innovations or cultural exports, but due to a seismic political decision. The South Korean parliament's unprecedented vote to impeach President Yoon Suk Yeol marked a defining moment in the nation's political landscape. With allegations of a potential martial law order sparking heated debates, this action not only reflects the tensions within the country's politics, but also challenges the resilience of its democratic system. In today's analytical deep dive, we'll explore the key driving forces, broad implications, and lessons from this extraordinary political drama. At the heart of President Yoon's impeachment is an allegation that strikes at the foundation of South Korea's democracy. Reports suggest Yoon proposed invoking martial law as a drastic measure to quell internal dissent. Such an action, critics argue, would have disregarded the constitutional norms built to prevent executive overreach. Martial law is a term deeply etched in South Korean history, associated with past periods of authoritarian rule. It stirs concerns about a possible regression into undemocratic practices, despite decades of progress. Lawmakers opposing the president deemed his alleged intentions not only unconstitutional, but a betrayal of the democratic ideals that South Koreans fought to establish during their political evolution in the 1980s. As Parliament moved to exercise its power of impeachment, the stage was set for one of the most contentious political showdowns in recent history. The controversy surrounding the impeachment creates two divergent narratives. On one hand, opposition leaders framed their decision as an act to defend democracy itself. They stressed that permitting martial law would set a dangerous precedent, granting disproportionate power to one branch of the government at the expense of others. On the other hand, Yoon's supporters argue that the impeachment is a partisan attack, unjustly targeting a sitting president during a time of crisis. They claim the martial law allegations are speculative and politically motivated, designed to destabilize his leadership rather than address any real misconduct. While public confidence in Yoon's leadership was already declining, the unfolding saga is amplifying divides within the nation, bringing existing tensions to the surface. South Korea has long struggled with deepening political divides, and this event has further widened the gulf between different factions. President Yoon, elected on a wave of reformist hopes, has faced mounting criticism for polarizing governance choices. From his handling of domestic economic instability to his stringent policies on labor and foreign relations, Yoon's approach has alienated many opposition leaders and even sectors within his own support base. The impeachment not only dissolves any remaining pretense of unity, but also thrusts the country into turmoil. Parliament's decision speaks volumes about internal resistance to Yoon's leadership. However, it also reveals a broader disunity within South Korean politics, a phenomenon that risks paralyzing critical governance even as the nation faces pressing economic and security challenges. To understand the gravity of these allegations, one must examine South Korea's fraught history with martial law. The 1970s and 1980s were marked by autocratic leaders invoking emergency powers under martial law to suppress dissent, curb freedoms, and impose stringent control over civic life. Military interventions in governance during these periods became synonymous with abuse of power. Since transitioning to democracy, South Koreans have viewed martial law as a relic of repression. Even insinuations about its re-implementation are bound to ignite heated public discourse. It is precisely this historical sensitivity that has contributed to the outcry against Yoon. For many, the allegations have raised existential questions. How much executive authority is too much? And at what point does protecting civic unrest cross over into undermining democracy? As news of the impeachment broke, responses from the broader public and civil society poured in, reflecting a polarized nation. Among pro-democracy advocates and activists, the vote was welcomed as a resounding affirmation of constitutional accountability. Civic groups stressed the importance of holding even the highest office accountable for potential abuses of power. Meanwhile, Yoon's grassroots supporters painted a different picture. For them, the move epitomized overreach by opposition forces, an attempt to weaken a president working to restore order during chaotic times. Social media platforms buzzed with varying reactions, some applauding the lawmakers' courage, others condemning what they saw as an effort to undermine a sitting president. This divide within South Korea's society hints at a larger challenge: managing domestic discourse to avoid exacerbating polarization while maintaining accountability. The impeachment also casts light on the complex dynamics between South Korea's executive branch and parliament. Since the country's transition to democracy, mechanisms like impeachment have served as essential safeguards against despotism. Parliament wielded its authority decisively in this instance, reflecting the legislative body's critical role in South Korea's system of checks and balances. The question, however, remains: was this action more about protecting democratic norms, or was it an opportunistic maneuver? Analyzing voting patterns in Parliament and political statements from its members reveals that while principles were certainly at play, partisan politics may have heavily influenced the outcome. Impeachment in South Korea involves more than just a parliamentary vote. The Constitutional Court must review and either affirm or overturn the decision. This judicial oversight affirms an additional layer of accountability, ensuring that decisions of such magnitude are consistent with constitutional principles. For President Yoon, these proceedings represent a gamble. His political survival hangs in the balance. If the Constitutional Court upholds the impeachment, it would spell the end of his presidency and perhaps his political career. Conversely, if overturned, Yoon may emerge emboldened, with an opportunity to rally his base by framing the impeachment as a vindictive attack. In a larger sense, the fallout from this saga could shape not only South Korea's immediate political landscape, but also its future elections and leadership. This impeachment occurs against a backdrop of broader challenges. South Korea faces economic hurdles, with rising unemployment and slow growth fueling dissatisfaction. Geopolitically, tensions with North Korea remain a constant strain, as does navigating relations with allies like the United States and China. Together, these unresolved issues demand government focus and unity, two commodities sorely lacking amid the political crisis. The impeachment has added a layer of instability that threatens to derail urgent policymaking. For citizens, questions linger. Can leadership overcome partisan rancor to address core challenges, or will political divisions only deepen in the weeks and months to come? For political enthusiasts and analysts, South Korea's impeachment drama offers critical insights about democracy itself. First, it underscores the importance of institutional checks in protecting constitutional norms. Democracy cannot function without safeguards against the accumulation of power in individual offices. Second, it highlights the tension between unity and accountability. While decisively addressing alleged improprieties is essential for democratic integrity, the divisiveness it spawns cannot be ignored. A mature democracy must balance these competing priorities, encouraging decisive action without fundamentally fracturing political cohesion. Lastly, this episode serves as a mirror for global democracies grappling with similar questions about executive power, institutional accountability, and political polarization. As nations observe developments in South Korea, they are reminded of the fine line their own systems must walk to protect democracy. President Yoon's tenure itself is a study in leadership under scrutiny. South Korean citizens expected from him a leader capable of bridging divides and steering the country forward. However, his alleged missteps, combined with divisive policies, exacerbated mistrust and eroded his approval ratings. Leadership in a democracy demands both accountability and decisiveness. If anything, Yoon's predicament serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the risks leaders face when they appear to prioritize power or unilateral decision-making over constitutional governance. Despite the turmoil, South Korea has an opportunity to emerge stronger from this. The parliamentary impeachment and judicial review processes reflect South Korea's commitment to institutional integrity. However, this crisis also signals urgent needs: bridging political divides, preventing repeated polarizations, and cultivating a culture of collaborative governance. Amid uncertainty, the nation's political class and citizens alike must ask important questions. How can South Korea strengthen internal safeguards further? And how can it ensure democratic processes are constructive rather than destructive? South Korea's political drama is a stark reminder of democracy's inherent complexities. The impeachment of President Yoon Suk Yeol expresses both the resilience and the fragility of the nation's political system. For South Korea, the coming months will not only decide Yoon's fate, but also provide a profound test of the nation's ability to uphold democratic integrity amid unprecedented challenges. For political enthusiasts analyzing this unfolding chapter, South Korea's experience offers both cautionary lessons and hope. It is a country that has proven time and again its capacity to rise above authoritarian shadows, but it is also one that must navigate new challenges to safeguard the democracy it has fought so hard to achieve.